Hey everyone, welcome to What's News number 3. There's a lot going on in the world today, so let's get started. Bob Costas returned to NBC's Winter Olympics coverage on Monday after suffering an eye infection. I haven't seen such puffy eyes on the news since Colorado legalized marijuana. In fact, Costas' eyes were so puffy and red that even Angelina Jolie's lips started to get jealous. And unfortunately, he was unable to top every John Boehner interview ever. I was afraid he was going to start shooting lasers out of his eyes or something like Superman or Cyclops. Pew pew! An 84-year-old nun was sentenced to jail time after breaking into a nuclear weapons facility with 2 other people and defacing it. Sounds pretty badass, but it also sounds like she may have been watching a few too many James Bond movies if you ask me. The report also says that they defaced the storage bunker with human blood. Alright, no, I changed my mind. Not badass. That's just weird. A study in Peer Journal reports that elephants console others with their trunks. They will put their trunks on other elephants' genitals or in their mouth. Hopefully not in that order. The report quotes co-author Joshua Plotnick as saying, quote, "Elephants do a lot of touching of others with their trunks. Genital touching is a way for elephants to identify others, and in this case, it may also be a way for the elephants to identify the behavioral state of the others." End quote. What behavioral state might that be, Mr. Plotnick? Sounds like elephants behaving badly. Could you imagine if humans did that? Yep, that's my dad. Oh, I'm sorry to hear of your injury. I hope you get well soon. Since Valentine's Day, thousands of gamers worldwide have been collaborating on a massive multiplayer version of PokeMMOn Red and Blue for Game Boy. Players enter a text code for a button in a chat window on Twitch TV, which is then sent to the game and played in real time. I still haven't beaten any of the Pokemon games by myself yet, or for that matter, any other game I've ever played, ever. U.S. Olympic luge athlete Kate Hansen posted a video on her Twitter account claiming to have seen a wolf in the hallway of her hotel. Honestly, it looks like some kind of husky crossbreed, but more concerning is that Little Red Riding Hood hasn't been seen all day. A man in Iowa was fired from his job after allegedly using a forklift to dislodge a candy bar that was stuck in his employer's vending machine. The man denied having used the forklift for that reason and claimed he was putting the machine back in place after having shaken it to retrieve the candy bar. If I had a nickel for every time I had a candy bar stuck in a vending machine, I would have used that money to go to the store to buy a candy bar. And now for this week's unscripted editorial. This is on a little bit different subject, and this is directly related to a personal experience I had this past weekend. Just some quick background. I am Catholic, and I still do go to church every weekend. On this particular weekend, we had a visiting priest because our normal priest went on a trip. That week's gospel was the Sermon on the Mount. For those of you who are not familiar with it, I don't expect you to go looking it up. I'm not here to shove religion down anybody's throats. What I'm here to talk about is what he said in his homily. This priest brought up a lot of different little points about how to act based on the Sermon on the Mount that Jesus taught. And one of the things he said is that adultery can be committed in different forms. And one of the things he brought up, and in the effort of keeping this family friendly, he brought up a certain type of adult video by its P-word name. And the problem I have with that is there were a good amount of people in church who were not adults. And let's just say they were under the age of 10 years old. You don't bring that up in front of a child and not expect them to go home, tug on mom and dad's pants and say, "Excuse me, what was that word he said in church? What does that mean?" Because you can bet that a child is going to be curious enough to ask. What kind of position are you putting these parents in? Putting them in the position of having to explain what that is? That's not responsible at all. And it kind of makes me think twice of why I'm really even going. Why am I listening to this? This guy is wrong. I don't think that that should have been a subject of a homily in church where there were children. It bothered me so much that I told my brother, who was sitting next to me that evening, I'm not going out the front doors. I'm going out the side doors, because if I go and have to face him, there's going to be a little bit of a situation in which he would have been publicly humiliated. And that's putting it nicely, I think, because I would have said something. But I want to know what you think. Do you think it is responsible for anybody, whether it's in an authoritative tone or whatever, to bring these kinds of subjects up in front of children? Why or why not? I'd love to know what you think, because for me, I think it shouldn't happen. You're opening up Pandora's box, you're bringing awareness to the children of this word that they've never heard before, and the parents are not going to want to be in that position at having their kids at such a young age knowing about these things, alright? That's all I have for What's News this week. Don't forget to comment on the stuff I talked about this week. I'd love to know what you have to say. Don't forget to hit me up on social networks like Twitter, at Paul Lasko. Check out my Facebook fan page, and check out my website, paullasko.com. Everything else will be on the next graphic. I've got a music video coming up this coming Monday. Look out for that. It's an original song and an original music video. I'm excited for that. And I also plan on exposing the secrets of Flappy Bird. What might that be? Find out on my next vlog. So I'll see you next week on What's News.
Ah, look out, I'm the floating head monster, yeah!